Most tractors are engineered with a straightforward brief move weight, survive hard miles, and do it reliably. Then there are the exceptions. The rigs that outgrow ordinary freight duty and become monuments to taste, ambition, and mechanical obsession. This lineup focuses on those uncommon builds, machines shaped by craftsmanship, horsepower, luxury detailing, and the kind of imagination that turns a commercial vehicle into a personal statement. Some celebrate classic American truck culture. Others draw power from music, cinema, or pure owner vision. What links them all is individuality. They don't dominate attention only because they're huge. They do it because every panel, finish, and proportion says something distinct. And as we move deeper into the list, the projects get wilder, rarer, and far harder to believe. Number 1. Iveco S-Way Metallica. A modern European tractor does not usually become part of rock tour mythology, but that is exactly what happened here. In 2024, this Iveco S-Way ran with Metallica across Europe on the band's M72 tour, carrying tour infrastructure while also serving as a rolling extension of the group's visual identity. That context alone separates it from a routine promotional truck. It was not merely decorated for exposure, it was integrated into a major live production operation. Underneath the artwork sits the contemporary S-Way platform, a long-haul machine known for an inline-six power plant, large displacement, strong pulling ability, and an automated gearbox tuned for comfort and fuel-conscious heavy transport. So, the foundation was already serious. What changed the story was the treatment layered on top of it. The cab's dark finish and Metallica-themed graphics give it the visual aggression of stage production rather than fleet logistics. From a distance, it reads like album artwork translated into a highway vehicle. That matters because the truck was asked to communicate as much as it hauled. What makes this build memorable is the merger of two worlds that rarely overlap so completely: heavy road transport and stadium-scale metal spectacle. It moves cargo, yes, but it also carries branding, attitude, and touring history in one unmistakable package. Vehicle number 2, Peterbilt 359. This Peterbilt 359 became extraordinary not because it started rare, but because its owner refused to think small. After purchasing the truck, a young YouTuber transformed it into one of the longest wheelbase Peterbilts in the United States, stretching it beyond 400 inches. That figure alone pushes the project into near surreal territory, yet sheer length is only part of the achievement. Visually, the truck avoids cartoonish excess. The white exterior paired with deep blue accents gives the build a disciplined, polished look, and that restraint works in its favor. The frame extension changes the whole profile, turning an already recognizable classic into something that seems to continue forever when viewed from the side. Historically, the 359 family earned its standing with large displacement Cummins, Caterpillar, or Detroit diesel engines, paired with the kind of heavy torque and multi-gear manual transmissions that define traditional American road tractors. Those credentials remain part of the truck's credibility. But on this build, engineering, packaging, and proportion control share equal billing with the drivetrain. Stretching a truck to this extent without ruining stance, finish quality, or visual coherence demands more than enthusiasm. It takes planning, fabrication money, and a willingness to keep investing long after most people would stop. The owner has openly said a fortune is already tied up in the project, and even now, he still considers it unfinished. That endless pursuit may be the wildest detail of all. Vehicle number 3, Kenworth T6880 Signature Edition. Not every exclusive tractor needs exaggerated chrome or a mile-long hood. The Kenworth T680 Signature Edition proves that restraint can project status just as effectively. Its appeal comes from polish, not spectacle. Kenworth developed the T680 in the United States as an aerodynamic highway tractor with an emphasis on efficiency, modern styling, and a roomy cab environment. In Signature Edition form, that already refined platform receives a darker presentation accented by thin red detailing, giving the truck a more deliberate, premium character. It feels tailored rather than flamboyant. Power is rated at 510 horsepower, typically supplied by an inline-six configured for serious long-haul duty. An automated transmission handles shifting, while the generous sleeper and comfort-oriented setup underline the truck's mission, covering big distances with less fatigue and more composure. What makes this version interesting is its philosophy. Old-school show rigs often chase attention through visual volume. This one takes the opposite route. It suggests exclusivity with finish quality, proportion, and executive-level presence instead of noise. It remains a working vehicle, but it carries itself like a special order machine intended for an owner who wants more than standard fleet equipment without crossing into theatrical excess. Vehicle number 4, 1968 Kenworth W925A. A 1968 Kenworth W925A already carries enormous credibility before any custom work begins, but this example pushes that legacy into luxury territory. The first signal is the pearl white paint. Finishes like that are notoriously expensive, labor-intensive, and unforgiving, so choosing it immediately tells you the build was never conceived as an ordinary refurbishment. The second major statement comes from below. A stretched chassis finished in metallic green dramatically alters the truck's posture, giving the W925A a longer, more aristocratic appearance. That same green continues onto the engine block, which also received electronic tuning and a turbocharger larger than stock. So while the truck's appearance is lavish, the mechanical side was not ignored. From the factory, this Kenworth lineage could be equipped with Cummins, Caterpillar, or Detroit diesel power, ranging from inline sixes to V8 combinations, all backed by substantial displacement, high torque output, and multi-speed manual gearboxes. That traditional heavy haul foundation gives the custom work real substance. Then come the finishing moves, chrome polished to a mirror effect and a full caramel leather cabin that feels astonishingly upscale for a truck of its era. The result is more than a restored workhorse. It becomes a prestige object, part historic hauler, part handcrafted statement, and fully impossible to dismiss. Vehicle number 5, Freightliner Classic XL. Some custom trucks impress because they are pampered showpieces. This Freightliner Classic XL earns respect for a tougher reason. It still goes out and works. That dual identity is central to its appeal. Freightliner built the Classic XL in the United States as a traditional long-nose highway tractor with a large cab and unmistakable road presence. In standard form, the model was already well suited to long-distance heavy service. Buyers could get Detroit diesel, Caterpillar, or Cummins inline-six engines, each offering generous displacement, strong torque delivery, and either manual or automated transmissions for serious hauling duty. This particular truck wears deep red paint contrasted by cream accents, a combination that gives it the air of a carefully preserved collector machine. Add the stretch frame, tall exhaust stacks, and a front end that has been reworked for a more individualized look, and the whole rig takes on a much more curated personality. What raises the build another level is the owner's involvement. He customized the truck himself, yet never stripped away its day-to-day usefulness. It still serves as a working truck, just with a fully redone interior, extensive chrome, and details that consistently draw public attention. By the owner's own account, compliments arrive almost every time it is parked. That blend of utility and pride is rare. This Classic XL is not just decorated transportation, it is a livelihood, a calling card, and a piece of rolling self-expression. Vehicle number 6, Western Star 5710XE Optimus Prime Customa. This build is remarkable before you even discuss the sheet metal, because its origin story sounds unlikely on purpose. In 2016, Joe Fiducia, a 36-year-old father from Pennsylvania with no formal mechanical training, set out to create the world's first full-scale, fan-built Optimus Prime truck. His motive was personal rather than commercial. He wanted to inspire his son and prove that a seemingly absurd idea could be brought into the real world through commitment and persistence. The donor vehicle was a Western Star 5700XE, already a modern American tractor with a commanding factory look. In normal configuration, the model features a Detroit inline-six with substantial displacement, strong output, and a roomy sleeper cab suited to long-distance work. But on this project, the standard platform became only the starting point. A lengthy wheelbase, custom fabricated details, and a total mass of roughly 9,500 kilograms push the truck far beyond a typical cosmetic makeover. The transformation is what stops people cold blue and red bodywork, flame graphics, and proportions closely echoing the best-known character in the Transformers universe. It does not merely suggest the movie truck, it convincingly channels it. Inside, the approach stays comparatively practical and understated. Outside is where the spectacle lives, and the craftsmanship has been good enough to earn awards and recognition among extreme custom truck circles. Even more impressive, it remains a functional road-going truck rather than a static prop. By the time labor, one-off components, paint, and finishing are considered, the build occupies a truly lofty value bracket. More importantly, it stands as proof that fan passion can produce a result, respected even by seasoned custom professionals. Vehicle number 7, Kenworth Flat Glass W900A. Among vintage American conventionals, the flat glass Kenworth W900A carries a visual identity that enthusiasts recognize immediately. The flat windshield, elongated hood, and traditional cab layout helped make it a reference point for old-school truck fans, and that recognition only intensifies when one is customized at a high level. This example leans heavily into that heritage. Finished in a rich, deep blue, it presents far more like a commissioned showpiece than a basic over-the-road tractor. The extended frame lengthens the profile even further, producing a cleaner, more dramatic silhouette that suits the truck's long-nose architecture perfectly. Kenworth produced this style in the United States, and mechanically the lineage was commonly fitted with Cummins or Caterpillar inline-six engines displacing more than 12 liters. Output typically ranged from about 350 horsepower to well over 400, with torque figures designed for real pulling authority. Multi-speed manual transmissions were the norm, reinforcing the analog, hands-on driving character that defines trucks from this era. Yet numbers alone are not what make a build like this memorable. Polished tanks, vertical exhaust stacks, careful trailer alignment, and the proportions of the stretched chassis turn the entire tractor into a coordinated visual composition. Custom budgets on trucks like this often land in the tens of thousands of dollars, and especially meticulous examples can exceed $100,000. Originally intended for hard freight work, a W900A built like this also becomes something else: a badge of pride, a public statement, and a personalized classic with unmistakable presence. Vehicle number 8, 2019 Peterbilt 389 Fuel Hauler. This 2019 Peterbilt 389 makes its case through precision. Built at Ancan Truck Parts and Total Appearance in Wisconsin, the project was designed to look complete from tractor to trailer, and the execution was strong enough to earn a feature in 10-4 magazine after the 2023 Truck Fest. That kind of recognition is not handed out for loud paint alone. Still, the paint certainly helps. Furnished in Ferrari red, the truck has immediate visual authority, but the deeper appeal lies in the smaller decisions. A respected professional handled the stripping by hand. The frame was stretched and reinforced. Alignment was treated with obsessive care. Even the inner portions of the wheels were painted to match the frame, a detail many viewers might miss unless they study the truck closely. The 389 platform already carries heavyweight credentials, typically drawing from Cummins or Caterpillar inline-six engines with substantial displacement, high torque, and transmissions suited to demanding work. This example goes further with engine modifications that give it a stronger audible and visual presence, while the air suspension contributes to a lower, more composed stance. Chrome finishing plays a huge part as well, especially on components like the fuel tank, where the polishing quality elevates the entire truck. What is striking is that despite all this, it remains a fuel hauler. That practical role makes the perfectionism even more extreme. The investment is enormous, but the owner's objective was clearly singular: eliminate compromise. On that standard, this Peterbilt succeeds with almost alarming thoroughness. Vehicle number 9, International LoneStar Harley-Davidson. The International LoneStar already arrived with styling that split opinions in the best possible way. Its rounded nose and oversized hot rod attitude gave it a personality unlike a conventional fleet tractor. In Harley-Davidson-inspired form, that theatrical base becomes something even more unusual: less transport equipment, more limited-run statement piece. This is not presented like a mass-market truck produced without imagination. Everything about the execution points toward an exceptionally focused project centered on image, identity, and immediate visual impact. It was created to leave an impression before anyone asks about payload. Mechanically, the LoneStar typically relied on a Cummins inline-six, with offerings approaching 15 liters and power outputs in roughly the 500 to 600 horsepower range. Buyers could pair that with either a conventional manual gearbox or an automated manual, giving the truck the torque and drivability expected from a legitimate long-distance hauler, so capability was never absent. What shifts the emphasis is the styling package. Black and silver surfaces, orange highlights, extensive chrome, a bold grille treatment, tall stacks, and an exceptionally tidy finish place the truck squarely in Harley-Davidson territory without needing a motorcycle anywhere nearby. It feels ceremonial even when stationary. Yes, it remains road-capable, but its larger role is symbolic. This is a truck that trades in exclusivity, visual drama, and brand-inflected character. The custom investment can escalate far beyond the price of a standard LoneStar, and that is precisely the point. This one was built to be remembered, not merely operated. Vehicle number 10, Kenworth W900L, never satisfied. Some custom trucks are defined by a single build phase. Never satisfied tells a different story, one of continual escalation. The base machine is a 2008 Kenworth W900L, but the truck seen today emerged through multiple chapters. It began under J&L Contracting with assistance from Davis Browers, then later received its final layer of transformation through Casey Connery of A&N Transport. That gradual evolution is part of what gives it such depth. Visually, subtlety was never invited. Red paint paired with white detailing sets the tone immediately. And from there, the truck only grows more intense. A stretched chassis, an added rear axle, large diameter stacks, chrome across nearly every major surface, and a grille fabricated from scratch. Because the work accumulated over time rather than appearing all at once, the truck feels developed rather than merely decorated. The W900L platform itself is no lightweight canvas. Typical engine choices included large displacement, Cummins or Caterpillar inline sixes, backed by either manual or automated transmissions intended for hard-duty operation. In this example, the mechanical package was also upgraded, confirming that the truck's substance keeps pace with its styling. Air suspension contributes to the truck's planted stance, while neon lighting and numerous concealed details reward close inspection. That last point matters. Many of its most expensive touches are easy to miss at first glance. Today, Never Satisfied occupies a space beyond ordinary trucking. It is award-winning, heavily invested, and packed with detail to a degree that borders on excess, which is exactly why it works. What these trucks ultimately show is that heavy transport can become far more than an industrial necessity. Yes, they were born from platforms built to haul, endure, and earn a living. But in the hands of owners, builders, and dreamers, they become something richer: engineering statements, cultural artifacts, and rolling biographies made from paint, steel, leather, chrome, and stubborn vision. Some honor classic American truck design. Others borrow energy from rock music, cinema, or contemporary luxury. All of them prove the same thing: exclusivity in this world is not just a matter of cost. It comes from imagination, pursued all the way to the end. Now I want your take. Which truck here struck you hardest? Which one would you choose purely for rarity and personality? And which project crossed the line from impressive into completely outrageous? Drop your pick in the comments. If this is the kind of truck content you enjoy, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That support helps the channel reach more enthusiasts, and there is always another remarkable machine waiting for the next video.